So as was pointed out yesterday on the broadcast, this circumstances that Moses found himself in when for the second time the people are complaining. They're complaining about the lack of water. And they're making accusations toward Moses. And so why did he bring us out here? Why did he bring us out here to die? And the thing that I talked about yesterday was just a condition of a person's heart. How we deal with circumstances that are before us. And especially those times when we find ourselves in great despair. And I believe that's where Moses was. He was tired of it. He'd heard it for way too long. All the griping, all the moaning and groaning and complaining. He was done with it. So he's angry. And unfortunately, anger can cause us a lot of problems in life. Because the reality is that when we're angry, we are not in control. And whenever we allow ourselves to not be in control, and we're just lashing out and we're allowing ourselves to become angry, and we're just saying things and doing things that are probably not going to end up being in our best interest, but we just don't seem to have the ability to rein it in and stop whatever action that we're about to do. It's just like it's not really us. We're just out of sync, out of control, and it's dangerous. And so when Moses goes before the rock, God had not said anything to him about taking the rod this time. But Moses grabbed his rod. He goes out. And in his anger and his frustration, he's not listening to the voice of God, because God very clearly is saying to him, speak to the rock. He didn't say smite it. He didn't say hit it or any of that sort of thing. He just said speak to the rock. But Moses must have tuned that part out. Didn't get it. So he acts out in his own humanity. He deals with it in anger and frustration. He smotes the rock 2 times. And then God says, I can't trust you now. You violated a very sacred principle. You smote the rock twice when I said to speak to the rock. And now you will not see the promised land. You or Aaron, either one. And I look at this and I go, that's serious business, because what was happening here was serious business, because this is a spiritual thing. And we read the scripture in 1 Corinthians where the Apostle Paul is talking about this. He said, this is the rock that followed them in the wilderness. This was Christ. And we know that Christ went to the cross one time for all the sins of humanity and for our redemption. He doesn't have to be smoten a second time. He died once, and once it was accomplished, all that God sent him here to accomplish. Well, this speaks to our heart about how we deal with our minds, our emotions, and bringing ourselves into control, and always listening to what God speaks to us. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.